Blessed day, each and every one. DJ Paneras in the house again, once again, with another unsung influentials interview with the great Peter Ellis. So, those of you who know Peter Ellis, he's a electrician. The electrician climbs towers, these big jobs, in the winter and everything, and he's a Clery and a proud Clery at that, proud St Lucian, somebody who I'm intrigued by in terms of his talent, also as a musician, as a electrician, as a comedian. The man have jokes for days, bro. So we're going to attempt this interview again because we tried just earlier and we had some technical glitches, so I apologize for that. So we're going to get back on track, okay? Blessed to his daughters. I call Peter my stepdad. Sometimes I joke with him about that. I always say, Dad, what's up? And he say, boy, you don't let me hold my rifle, boy. Let me shoot you, boy. So we always joke about that because he has three beautiful daughters, and the other two look like twins. Um, I forgot the names, but yeah, they're in New York. But yeah, I know that's not in my league, right? So blessed each and every one. If you're watching this afterwards, big up. Remember to share. Again, this is unsung influencers. I've been doing these interviews for quite some time now. I started with my first interview was with Jati about roughly 3 to 4 years ago about his life. And Jati is a songwriter extraordinaire, has the most road match wins as a writer. And then I went on to interview Ivan Smith, better known as Cypher, followed by Gregory Shining Emmanuel of Diamond Steel. And then I went on to interview, I believe, after that was John T, the late John T, Martin Regis. I went on to interview him, and the list goes on. I went on to do Gregory Pegas from Trinidad. He's a master drummer. We used to play with the Asylum Band. Gregory is also the drummer for Desperados in Trinidad and also D-Rados in um, New York. And then I think my last one was with M16. All right, M16 is a drummer from Antigua. He plays with the Onion Effect, Onion from Burning Flames, and another drummer I look up to. So I've been doing a lot of these interviews. They have guys I have set on my list to do interviews with, and Peter is one of those guys that he asked me to do his interview for him, or with him rather, on his life story, just going in a nutshell about the growing up in Clery in St Lucia, which is a community that I grew up in as well. My grandmother is from Clery, okay, and I went to school in Clery. I went to primary school in Clery, okay, and most of my life is spent around Clery, more than where I grew up in Union. So big up each and everyone. Again, we are attempting. This is another attempt to get Peter on board, on the live rather. Okay, and as you see my little bass in the corner, Peter is a multi-talented musician. He plays the bass, plays it very well. He plays as if like you swear he's been like touring around the world. He also plays the keyboard very well. He's extraordinary guy, man. I don't know why he's not touring with one of the big bands like Tower of Power or one of his favorite Spyro Gyra. Very talented guy, man. I respect his talent very much. Let's see if we have a delay here because Peter is not. I'm not seeing his face, so hopefully you guys, if you see him, I don't see him yet. So just bear with us. Technology can be a little bit frustrating, but you must have patience in this time because all good things come to those who wait. All right, so just bear with me. In the meantime, um, how I met Peter, because we have already attempted maybe 2 times when we started speaking about this. I met Peter through a guy called Carlton, Carlton Lambert, aka Kulia. in Miami, Florida. That was about 5, 6 years ago, maybe longer than that. And there was a barbecue in the backyard, and it was during Christmas time, like now. And Peter was playing the keyboards. He had a double decker keyboard, one on top, one at the bottom, and he was playing these top 40 hits, and he was playing a bunch of jazz, a bunch of different styles of music. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm a talented. I was standing on the other side of the pool, and he was adjacent to me, basically facing where I was standing on the other side. And I was like, I was listening. I was like, yeah, that man, I want to have a thing, man. So I thought he was. I didn't know he was from St Lucia at all. I thought he was just another guy they invite to come and perform. So until speaking to him, when I started speaking to him, welcome Miss Priscilla Redis once again. After speaking to him, he said, "Boy, you know what? I'm from St. Lucia. I'm from Clery." I said, "Okay, really?" Now, at the time, he wasn't really displaying much of, I would say, much of the talent that I've seen him post on Facebook lately. It's until I became Facebook friends with him after so many Sundays of enjoying Francis's cooking and the guys who would come there with food every Sunday. We added each other on Facebook. We played dominoes, and I started seeing some talent in him, and I was like, wow. But I asked him one day on Facebook, I said, but how you learn to play like that? I mean, why you're not toying? Why you're not playing with someone? Why you not like with the big bands? Because the man is talented, man. I mean, he's not faking anything he's doing. It's just natural talent, and you would swear it's a machine doing this. So just through that, man, I mean, I got to learn so much about him, and I started being more intrigued. And then he gives his jokes on Facebook, and I'm like, boy, that man have talent, because like he has a lot of talent. So I mean, God bless Peter, man. I mean, we're waiting for him to come on again. I don't know why he's taking so long, but I don't know why he's taking so long this time, because I'm on and he should be on right now with me. So yeah, big up once again. Good morning. This is Unsung Influencers with DJ Panras. I know this sounds like a trial and error kind of thing, but you know, I've been doing this for a good while now, and started doing this during COVID, and now we're way past COVID now, and we're at a point where I could see this going somewhere in terms of interviewing a lot of musicians, artists, expanding to maybe the other countries. And there's a lot of people that I want to speak to in terms of musicians, artists, people that I grew up just just being in awe about, just to say the least, you know. So I'm planning to do something like that, and hopefully, if you guys have any ideas for maybe I not say I'm begging for sponsorship, but it's just that I just feel like to do something like that, it needs to be sustained somehow, because again, I'm a teacher, I teach, I do other things, so the time would have to be allocated to doing something like that. And if you have any ideas of people you think that I can do interviews with, for example, my partner just reached there, Cleveland, talented bass player, Gasa, and I think he's in for a treat there with Peter, because he's gonna see his competition today, because Peter is gonna play for us as well. Okay, so just hang tight. Yeah, what are you saying, man? Cleveland. Cleveland is a past student of the school that I teach right now, Clery Secondary School. Big up yourself, man. We're just waiting for you to just send like a big fortune for us, so we could buy all the instruments we need and so on. And yeah. Not saying that you're making it on the other side where the grass is greener, but so here's Peter. So let's see if we could add him on now. Finally, after so long, maybe he was eating breakfast. I don't know. Cleveland. Yes, Peter.
Yeah, I
Keep the
was trying
fingers
to figure out how
crossed
to do
this
this
time.
thing, you know?
Keep the fingers crossed. You heard me?
Yeah, so we got it. You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on, give me a
Okay.
second and let me just plug in my headphones, because I'm hearing you as if I have the phone on my ear.
Okay.
So it could be just the Facebook's way of it could just be Facebook way of thing. Give me 1 second. Yep. Yes. So this is Peter. Peter is on. Just trying to connect my headphones real quick. So just give me an opportunity. Let me just do that. Okay. It's doing a little magic there. So let me try to connect it. I was hoping not to use the headphones, but um, you know, is asking to use it.
Ah, fine. Thank you. Okay, Peter, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds much better. So sorry for all the glitches, man. I know with technology we have to just be patient. And sometimes when we try things, we tried it last night, but now we're
Yeah.
here and we're ready to go, man. The connection
Well,
was stronger.
technology is always difficult, even to spell it.
Boy, I was telling the people, well, you're a comedian, you're a musician, you are electrician, a master electrician. Just give me a rundown, man. I want to know from your beginnings because I've already told them, even before we started, that I met you by Francis. Those of people who know Francis, you were performing in the backyard for a barbecue, and I was just scoping you, like I always do. When I'm in a party, I don't listen to or pay attention to anybody else. But when there's a musician, I'm always attentive. So I was paying attention to you. We became Facebook friends. You told me you were from Clery. You told me your mother was your biggest fan, and the whole rundown. So just go from the very beginning of your life growing up and take it away.
All right. Before we go into the electrical, I gotta go into the music first.
Okay.
Um, when I was young, very probably 9, 10, 11, the times with Two Tones and Basil Belize and all of them used to practice in the club. And I would go
Mm,
and look through the little blocks at the back towards the tennis court. And I used to stay right behind Basil Belize and watch him play. And that time they had
that's the
the old,
keyboardist.
the old Ronson keyboards and things like that. And I would watch and I'm saying, but how could he do that? That time we didn't
Mm,
have a piano at home yet. And I used to go and watch Kiki with Hibiscus. Still there. I watched Joey Bonnet, Hunter Foswell, Leon Prescott. I used to just go there because they were all family friends. I used to go there and watch them, and I couldn't figure out how they could do that, with
mm.
10 fingers. Then my
Wow.
mom bought a piano, and this is so funny. And
Mm.
nobody wasn't interested in the piano but me. And it was my duty every Saturday. If you want to play it, you have to clean it. And that time we used to use Ocida polish, and it was my thing just to play piano. So
Ah.
when I started playing the piano, the first time I went on the piano, I started hitting the keys, and my mom told me, "Oh no, you're not going to play the piano like that. You're going to do it the right way, or you don't play it at all." And she would try to teach me music, the chords, the notes, and things like that. But I didn't want to know all that. But I never liked school. Up to now, I never liked school. But anyway, I would watch and I would learn, and then I would remember sounds. I would remember like all 7 notes. And she would
But before you could remember any notes, you had to have some kind of formal little basic training of how to play it, right?
no, no, I didn't know nothing about fingering or anything like that. I just used to watch her play, and then I used to watch the notes, and all she would show me is from C to B, and I would
Okay.
memorize these notes. Like I can hear the C note or the D note, and I would tell her what I'm playing, what she's
Mm,
playing, and then she
okay.
tell me I have a good ear for music. So I started playing, and I would play, but you can't play calypso and soca on a Sunday. That's restricted. That is church music, and I not on that. But I was so eager to play the piano that she was singing a hymn in the kitchen, um, onward Christian soldiers, and I would be picking up on the piano and go on the piano and play it, play it note for note as she was singing it. And then
Mm,
all of a sudden I stopped because the way our balcony is, you can position the louvers so that you can see when my dad rolls up. Now, once my dad rolls up, music stopped. You know,
okay.
music stopped right there.
Okay.
He don't want to hear no noise. So then she
Uh-huh.
in the kitchen cooking, and she saw him pass with all his electrical stuff going into the workshop. And she said, why did Peter stop? So she came into the bedroom and I was crying. I was crying, 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 crying. And she told me, what happened? Why you stop? I said, well, I want to play the piano and daddy coming and he's going to shout at me and tell me you don't want to hear no noise in his head. And he said, oh no, you're going to come and show him what you know. So I started playing and I started playing some the same Onward Christian Soldiers song. And then my father looked at me and said, do you teach him that? He said, no, he doesn't even know a note of what he's playing, but he's picking up pretty good. And it's from there I realized I had the potential to keep on playing. And the thing is, I didn't like school so much that my mom used to work in a store on Shoshu Road called 5 and 10. And my dad would be
Okay.
going all over to the schools, the Beaufort Secondary, those schools working. So when they dropped me to the Anglican school, my brother Kurt would go in class and I would run up the Darling just to play the piano. I'm not in school now. And when they come, I would go on the beach. So I never really had to go to school. I never wanted to go to
Oh.
school. So anytime she had to go, especially on a Saturday morning when she go to the market, you know, and my dad go to work or go to Barbados or something, I would be on that piano and I'd be playing it. But I got caught because they had a next door neighbor called Ma Headley, and she would say, but I heard Peter playing the piano. He said, no, Peter was in school. He said, no. And then she caught me and she told me, you really like the piano, you know, and that's how
So
that
wait,
started.
one second. So if your mother was working on Chaussee Road, you would go home to play and that's what you do? You
Yeah,
just
well,
simply go home, pull
drop
out
me
your
to
mother
school. They would drop me to school. Once my father drives off and my little brother go into the school, I would run up the social, cut through the Darlings, run up the Darling Road, cut through the gardens, run up the Darling Road, just to play on the piano, you know. And then
boy, man,
sometimes
that
I would
passion.
make it back to school, but then oh well, you know, when I ready to go back to school, when I see I would jump over the back wall and run down, and then I would see Corky and Rennie and Coboom and all these guys, and then I say, you know what, to hell with school, I'm going on the beach.
Oh
I
boy, Peter, boy,
never
that's
I
a
never
love
went to
passion.
school. I never really did good in school. To tell you the truth, I just did not like school. My mom tell me now, going into the electrical now, after my father found out what I was doing for a long time, he told me that you either go to school or you either go to school or come and work or get out my house. You have a choice. So I said, okay, well, I'd rather come and work with you. And that's how I started working in the electrical. But remind you now, my brothers and them are all electrical, electronically inclined. I am not. I could do it. I try to run from it. It follows me everywhere I go, but I don't want it because I remember working in Nova Scotia Bank. I used to change fluorescent lights with my dad, and I tell my dad, listen, if you're going to want me to work, you got to switch off the power. He said, no, no, that ain't going to happen. You're going to work with the power because you have to respect electricity. If you don't
Mhm.
do that, then it's not for you. I said, well, you know what? Let me catch up what I can catch up on this. And then I went and I worked with him and things like that. But I didn't really want work with him to do the electrical either. I only went with him to drive the car. you know,
Look
you
at you,
know.
boy. Look
Every
at
time you
you.
want to tell me, oh, I forgot something in the yard home, bam, I don't want to drive. You know, and
Uh,
that was it. And it's the same thing. Everything I did was on my own, even learning to drive. When he tell me go to the airport, put gas in the car, and come back and tell him the gas is in the car so that he can go pick it up. I would drive that car boom by myself.
oh, so what
And
age you was during that time?
I was like about 14, 15,
Okay, okay.
15.
Talking about the
Now,
70s, the mid 70s
yeah,
and growing
yeah,
up.
oh yeah. Now I went to I did all my schooling in Canada, Nova Scotia. I did 3 or 4 years there, and then I came back and I came to New York. But mind you, all this time I didn't know a note of what I'm playing. Now I'm good. I'm not boasting that I'm pretty good on piano, but I could play because I could listen and play. But I don't know. Ask me what note I'm playing. I don't know. So then I went
Right.
when I came to Brooklyn. I went to a school on Empire, and I started going Bennett School of Music, and I did about 6 months there. and I quit because they showed me the same thing that I don't need to know. Don't show me where C is. Just let me hear the sound and I'll tell you what it is. I don't need you to
Right.
tell me what it is on the keyboard. So, and it's not really the instrument, it's the music that you need to know, to know how it's, connected together. And then a friend of mine had a band playing and he had his keyboards and he told me, yo, Pete, man, I need you to come to the band room. I have a Kurt's keyboard I'd like to try, but we're rehearsing tonight. So after they rehearsed, the guy told me, yo, Pete, we're rehearsing. Come and try out the keyboard, man, before we go home. So I started playing and the band leader said, wait, hold up a second. Hey, this guy's style. Yo, don't go yet. Let's start up again. Let's do over that song again. I like the way he phrasing his notes. So he told me, yo, we playing that in a B flat with an added fifth. I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. So I said, listen, let me just go pee first. I never came back. And then I started learning the notes of the music, and that's how I started. And I got a lot of compliments from musicians in California and Texas and even St Lucia. I spoke to who text me and tell me that, but I have a major problem. I don't really want to say this. I suffer with stage fright very much. And
Really?
yeah, and Boo tell me every musician suffers with speech right. I spoke to Sparrow and he tell me he suffers with speech right. That's how he learned that to sing with the band, not with the crowd, because the crowd will throw you off. So when Boo tell me when he played for the White House, he was nervous. He was like almost blank. But you have to stay focused, and that's the hardest part to do because you really cannot get distracted if you're playing and you want to play on point, you know. So
Now,
I
before you move forward, because you said a lot of information there that I absorbed. I mean, father, your father was you. I don't know if you realize that. You probably know that, obviously.
Mhm.
But from what you said from the beginning to me, your father was that um, path to start your quest to be the musician you are today. Because as you said, your mother was teaching you, and then when he got home, right, all music had to stop. But when he entered the house, he asked your mom, "But what you was teaching Peter there?" And then from that point in time, you realized you started getting the self-reflection of confidence in yourself just because of your father. Now,
Exactly.
from what people tell me, your father is a Mr. Ellis. Okay, um, my father is in his 70s. I ain't gonna say exactly what, but my father knows your father, right? Now, when I told him, I said, you know Peter Ellis, he said, yeah, Ellis, it sounds familiar. So just tell me a little bit about who your father is. 'Cause I know he's a popular St. Lucian, very popular electrician way back, I guess 60s, 50s, 60s up coming up.
My dad, I I I I wish that I love my dad. Oh, I had loved my dad. I still love my dad very much, but I didn't really know him the way I wanted to. The way like my kids would come and tell me, Daddy, I love you, or they would come and push me or pull my shirt or something like that. I wish I could do these things with my dad, but he was so stern, so straight. You have to go by the book. My mother, oh, well, she was an angel. My mother and I, we were very, my mother, it's even hard to say. I get really emotional every time I speak about my mom because she was a disciplinarian. She knew, she was good at math, and she was even good in the amateur radio business in her young days. But
Hmm.
she always said that when she was, like they say, I mean, I never heard this until when I went home just before she passed because I spent 2 weeks. I left to come back to Miami the Friday and she died the Saturday. She didn't want me there to see her. But she's always, my brother told me that she's actually, I'm her golden child, because when she was giving birth to me, she suffered a lot. And I've been through a hard time as a young man growing up. You know, I took some bad times in my life. I was about maybe 6, 7 years old. I used to follow my dad everywhere he go. I went up on a roof with him, and he didn't know I was behind him, and I fell off the roof and I went blank. I didn't know nothing again for a couple of, I think, 2, 3 years. I didn't know how to tie my lessons. I would remember, because from what I understand as a little boy, I was so brilliant that when I took the fall, I don't know what happened inside, but I would go to school, I would learn something, remember it, and when I would come home, I would try to tell my mother, and I forgot. So I would take my head and hit it on the wall, and she said, "Don't do that," you know. And then, yeah, it was a time then when I would just be lying down on the bed, and then I would just feel the whole place turning over like a car capsizing. So my big brother saw this situation, and he was in Canada. And then he said, "Mom, when they sent me to Barbados, they wanted to do surgery on my head. Same thing as St Lucia." And
So wait, hold
my
on.
mom,
But you were troublesome too, because if you following the man right behind him and you don't know that, and you fall, it's your fault. You fall.
well,
So you were
listen,
troublesome too.
I got licks. I mean, I wouldn't say every day, but I got licks very often, even from my brothers. I mean, sometimes they would beat me. You'd think it's a Timex commercial, because hands just going up, right? you know, you
Ah,
know. But
right.
yeah, but then when I went to Canada, my brother took me to Canada, and then we went to the doctors and things like that. And um, I have never had that problem ever since, you know.
Okay, okay.
So
All right. So reminding the people that this is unsung influentials. This is probably like my seventh or eighth interview with somebody that inspires me. And Peter asked me to do an interview with him on his life story, and we just go in. We a nice Saturday morning. You know, it's nice and sunny, St Lucia outside, no rain. And the weather is beautiful. I don't know for Miami, but I know here it's nice and pretty outside, nice and sunny. That typical Saturday where you could hear Calypso on the radio, especially when Radio St. Lucia was around. I know
mhm,
Peter knows about the Radio St. Lucia and so on, but I wasn't that old yet in the time. We're gonna have Peter play something to make sure that the audience stay, to stay with us, because he's giving an interesting point of view of his life. So I don't know, whenever you're ready, I just want you to just play a little something for us. Show your talent on the bass and the keyboard as well. Just to keep the thing entertaining, not just social commentary, but it's about practicality as well. Good morning, Mr. Jason. Um, Perkins, Laurencia Spooner just joined. We have Miss Priscilla King here. Fox, what's up? And Cleveland was here a while ago. I don't know if he's still there. Winston Regis is on. And tag your friends, tag people who just want to speak, because again, I'm young, I'm learning from the older generation, you know what I mean? Not saying he's
mhm,
old yet, but the older generation, comedian, electrician, musician, um, I mean, the whole works. Yeah, man. So, I mean, I was intrigued by what you said in the very beginning. I mean, from the when we have the club there, your beginnings, peeping through the holes and watching, and you said Joey Bonnet and Leon Prescott, guys like that, that
oh yeah.
you emulated.
Actually, Joey Bonnet is who actually taught me, and I was very young then. When I used to play the bass with my left hand, sugar boom boom, I used to
Mm.
play like boom 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 boom. And Joey come up and say, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm trying to play sugar boom boom." He said, "Oh, what you doing there again?" And I started with the bass with the left hand, boom 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 boom. And he said, "No, no, no, no. This is not. This is the bass line you're playing. What you need to play is the left hand on the piano. You need to play. You need to." So then he came on. He told me, "Let me show you what to do." And then he started. I said, "Oh." He said, "Practice that, and then that was it.
Really on
He
with
didn't.
the right hand on the keyboard.
Yeah, I was playing the bass guitar with my left hand on the keyboard, the bass notes, and he tell me, no, don't play boom, boom, boom. No, no, no. Just do it, but and that's how I type it. I haven't played that song for so long. I didn't even know.
Oh, so the actual line, the horn line, that's from the beginning of the song.
Right, right.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
Okay,
that's
that's
that's how it
interesting.
was. And then he tell
So
me
that
that's how
was
you do it.
a long time. I mean, if you were practicing that, what age were you able to play that?
I was like 10, 11.
That means you're a childhood prodigy, man.
Well, don't
Man.
forget, I was very young then when we had the keyboards. But I think I spend most of my time watching other pianist players. Piano, I mean, like I said, I think the one I spend the most time looking at is actually KK and his dad,
Edwin. Mm-hmm. Edwin,
Martin
yes,
Elwin,
yes.
and
Oh,
then
okay,
Prescott, who was familiar with the church, in repairing the keyboards. Then he was a good family member, so he would come home and then I would watch him play,
Mhm.
and I just watch and learn. I just had to do it.
So, all right. So now you spoke about your father, because we know your father wired a lot of businesses, and which a lot of businesses probably that's still established today. Tell me about the musical life of your mother. How did your mother get into? If you know the history, of course you would probably know, but how did your mother end up getting into?
Well,
What did she
I
do? Oh, we didn't freeze. Probably the
young
phone died. If
then, but I guess in her
any, during
young
the storm.
days she used to play because she knew exactly what she's talking about, and she could read music very good, which was very difficult for me. The
Uh,
lines and spaces and all that, I cannot uh, look at a sheet and just play without looking at what I'm playing. But she used to play
okay.
and don't look. And I said, but how do you know? He said, because it's just like, do you look at everywhere your footsteps on when you're walking? It just falls in place. So this is the same with music. Once you know how to play and you look at the notes, you know exactly. That's why it's a lot of practice. It's basically a lot of practice and rehearsing and things like that. And 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 just last night I was watching an interview with Michael Jackson when they asked him, let me ask you something. When you came out with the moonwalk, did you practice it 100, 200 times, 300 times? And he said, no, no, I practiced it 4,000 times until I was comfortable with it on stage. So he was a perfectionist. So it had to be right on point.
Right,
It
right.
wasn't like do 3 times, okay, I got this. No, you don't. Because don't forget, when he plays listening to every instrument, every move on the stage. So he was
Mm.
like, he
He
was
was
phenomenal.
multifaceted like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was very
yeah,
multifaceted.
you
One
know?
thing about Michael Jackson, I got to know about listening and following his career, how he was so brilliant. And that's one thing, all kids, you mentioned Bob Marley and Michael Jackson, any kid, any age knows that artist, but they won't know the others. I mean, as popular as they are,
No.
they won't know the others. Yeah, man.
Now,
So again, go ahead, sorry.
now before I go, I have to talk about John T.
Yes, definitely. Rest in peace,
John T
the late John T.
is a master at his own craft. Did we didn't spend a lot of time, um, like years or months or whatever doing music. But the little time he came to Miami, he uh, he did, I think, wheelbarrow, and he wanted me to put in help him with it, and then I did it with him, and he was satisfied with it. And then working with telecommunications, I was in Texas. I met him in Texas. I met him in Louisiana. And I didn't have my keyboards then. I was at work, and he told me how did it go. Now I never really listened because I'm always out for months, days, weeks, whatever. So then on the 26th of September, he called me and he told me, "Boy, Pete, I need you to help me for a song there, boy." I said, "Is it political?" He said, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I just need you. I'll send you a copy of the recording, and you tell me what to do with it." So I did that, and then and we would talk. We would talk. But before that, I was saying when he was in Miami and we did wheelbarrow. I mean, we used to go till daybreak trying to picture a song, and then I would change it and I tell him, "Don't say that. Don't do that. Don't sing this. Do that." And then I tell him, "This is how you should sing it," and I would try to sing, and John tell me, "Man, shut up! You sound like you're selling fish. Let me sing it for you. Let me sing it for you." And
So
then,
you were the
but we had,
first person that he actually started doing that song with, because what he mentioned is he went to Martinique and it was the Soca Zouk Express album, right? With the guy with the wheelbarrow. And then they went to Martinique and they recorded the song. So I didn't know that he started doing the work with that song with you.
yeah, he
I
did
know
call me from there, just like Bobo List. Bobo List started from in Brooklyn. He was very young. Bobo List started from in Brooklyn on, I can't remember, uh, can't remember exactly that street across from Flatbush there, but that's where he started Bobo List. But
Mm.
anyway, he called me, and we want the average a song to do, and he said eye drops. So we spent a lot of time working on it. He called me back. He tell me, "Okay, you try that." He sent back the recording for me. I tell him, "Okay, go with that." And I tell him, well, he going to St Lucia to do some event for in St Lucia, some show he had to do. So he tell me when he get there, he called me. He would call me when he get there to see how the song score. And then he did call after he performed the song, and I didn't answer. And uh, then I got the news, and I was
Yeah,
shocked.
no, it was really sad for me too, because the
Yeah,
Tuesday I
I
spoke to
got the
him when
news.
he arrived to St. Lucia. He called me the Tuesday, and funny enough, the following Saturday was his funeral, and he didn't. He called me. He said, "Gaza, I have to come and check you after I do the UWP match. I come in and check you." I said, "But John, I go have time. How you doing that?" Because when you go to the UWP match, he was planning to go on Invader show that same night. So when I see the Friday or the Saturday, I said I would have called him, but I said let me wait for him to confirm. So when the Saturday came, I didn't. I, I didn't hear from him, but I didn't bother because I knew he would have been busy that Saturday performing for the UWP match. And then I think it was the Sunday or the Monday morning he passed. I can't remember which one. But I told my landlord who knows him very much. I said, "But John G was supposed to come and check me yesterday," which I know. I mean, I'm thinking John G is
Yeah,
bullshitting, because if he doesn't show up, then I know why. You understand?
yeah,
So
right,
I
right.
know he was close to you, and you have a lot of pictures on Facebook, and
Yeah, we got real close. We had so much fun. We did a lot. We did 2 or 3 songs after that, which um didn't really come out. We didn't really um continue it to the end because we were more focused on what he wanted to sing, and
mm,
he has this voice that does a little tremble when he sing. He has a little trembling in his voice, and I tell him, "Why don't you enhance it on the keyboard? Extend it a little bit. It sounds good." And he said, "How are we gonna do that?" And then we see, well, my keyboard now could do it. I mean, the keyboards I have multiple keyboards, but I didn't um, getting other equipment to go with it, like the sequencers and all that. I find I could do so much more, and
mm,
it came out real good, and it was a really shock to me. I mean, I couldn't even perform I couldn't even play a couple of days after I heard about John T's situation, because I was just hoping and praying that he will come out of this so that we can and do this, and
yeah, well, may he rest in
yes,
peace. We have the memories to
oh
live
yes,
by.
oh yes,
Music was
oh yes.
infectious, and I tell people, John T was the first person who influenced the BPM of the soca in St. Lucia. At the time, you remember Super Blue in Trinidad was going to the jump and wave thing, and when John T came with Ulale, it was the same formula, it was the same blueprint that Super Blue had, and nobody in St. Lucia was doing that. You had Sounds Together, you had all of these other bands that was just doing the calypso fast, but in terms of the power soca we know today, which is the hardcore, you get that beat now. in terms of
Yeah,
the I don't know how to describe it for you. But it's just that drive.
yeah.
You know, John D had that drive in the music,
I
and
remember when we first started getting to the music, and he told me when he completed the song, I don't remember what song it was. I told him, Bronte, there's only one issue here. You have to have female vocalists. You need to have background because
yeah,
that space they need to fill with with a harmony, like you need a background. So you need background vocals to
yes,
really lift up the sound because you
mm,
cannot sing the song flat. You're gonna have to lift the song a
yes,
little bit. Bring it up
yes.
there.
As you say that, boy, I find boy, you fascinate me with that one because I remember when he sent me the last track he did. He sent it to me and I listened to it and I said to myself, I didn't want to tell him that because John D sometimes when you would tell him something and you give him a critique, he wouldn't take it like badly, but he would think that it's okay, like the recording is fine, he doesn't have to do anything. But you were correct because I remember and that he needed some background vocals in there. At least if it was his vocals to lift up the it was the remake of I think Bubble is he was doing it in a more faster tempo or something. I
Hmm.
can't remember. He was doing it in a Zouk format. And it was missing that essence. And I think I don't remember if I mentioned it to him, but what you're saying there is on point.
Yeah, background vocals is very important. I've seen a lot of shows now. Now there's another thing I didn't mention about me. I went to an Earth, Wind and Fire show in LA, and
Okay.
I usually go close to the music because when I listen to music, I don't listen to not even the lyrics. I listen to the band, what each instrument is playing. And I was standing close to the speaker when they were doing a test. And when they put on the power, the speaker was so loud that I end up losing 75% of my hearing in my left ear. So I cannot hear too much in my left ear. I can only hear good in my right, not my left. If I put the phone to my ear, I can't hear you. I
On your
just
left
did a
side.
test. And this happened about 5, 6 years ago. So on my job, every year they give you a hearing test, and it was getting weaker and weaker. And I just did one last month, November, and they tell me
Mm.
your hearing is not going too good.
Deteriorated.
Yes, it's deteriorating slowly. And my grandmother was deaf, so this is why I'm trying to gather everything inside so that I can I can
You know
play,
what
but I don't need to hear it.
I noticed something as you said that your grandmother was deaf. Now you realize you what's the word? More like a magnet. Your father's influence, your mother's influence, um, that everything surrounding that driving. When your dad taught you to drive, and then you started driving by yourself. Now you're inheriting a little bit of everything now in your age. It's very strange. It's a weird phenomenon, but if people really look at it from that point of view of the lineage of your family and coming down, the influence obviously
Yeah.
starts there. You know?
When I play the piano, any kind of music, when I play in, if I go deep down, especially if I'm doing a song, and
Play a song for
people
us. Play a
people
song for us. Let's
people
hear it.
people wouldn't believe me. It's something that I don't know if it's a gift. I don't know. But when I'm playing my music, especially when it's quiet and I'm really concentrating on what I'm doing,
Mm.
my mind speaks to my mom. I can actually feel my mom telling me, try this, try that. You don't have to go one way all the time. And
Uh-huh.
it freaks me out sometimes because I'm saying, but I never thought of that. Why am I thinking of that now? And
Mhm,
I would be thinking of her, thinking of her, thinking of her. So my fingers are hers. These are her fingers. Sometimes I play notes I don't even know. Oh shit! Oh man, I could do this too. And then I
yeah,
would
intuition.
yeah. So it's
Mhm.
it's something that I didn't. But to go out there and play in, to be like in the spotlight, it will take a lot.
But I want you to play a little something for us because we have musicians there. Big Mike is on. He's from Vinci. He's a man that lives in Miami as well. I don't know if he's still there, but we just want you to show us. Play one of Michael Jackson ones.
Well,
Which one was
I,
it you did?
okay. I have a song, "Feel Like Making Love."
Yes, that's by what's the name?
I did it by
Robert
Bob James,
Black.
and I did it by this, but I do my own edition of it. I gotta
Okay.
put on a couple of things here to give you an example.
Robertus
It's not
Black.
gonna, it's not, it's not gonna be long because I'm a little rusty right now.
That's nothing, man. Hey, guys, so you always saying you're rusty, and you're not rusty at all. But he's very talented. I say to people, man, Peter should be touring the world, man. This guy plays for himself at home, recording videos for himself. And if you see what he has a station of everything. He has a whole sound system in there. He has everything you could name it, that whole spaceship. And he just records videos and put it out there. And I'm like, yo, you need to be with Tower of Power. You need to be with Spyro Gyra. You need to be with Casey and the Sunshine Band playing, man. You need to do something. Come on, man. You got this talent, you know?
Yep.
Let me know when you're ready for me. You could bring the camera down just a little bit so we could see the finger movements, you know? Yeah, I like that you understand. Yeah, that you could just shift
You can
it
hear?
down. Yeah.
Wait, let me just.
Yeah, give me an air test, please. But that keyboard was on a motif, man.
You can hear? You can hear? You can hear?
Yes, I can hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear it.
I started out on the wrong note. Sorry, wrong thing. Something's in that
That's okay.
thing.
Take your time, take your time, take your time, take your time.
Sometimes you have to set all the parameters to. See, can't do it right now. I'm too rusty. Hello? You can hear me? I lost your sound. I can't hear you.
Yeah, you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Somebody tried to call me. I don't know who the hell was that. Sorry, I'm very sorry. Apologies, people, for that. Okay, we're using the phone. I can't use my computer because the computer is going to start chucking.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's continue. I apologize, deeply apologize for that.
Yeah. So You want to hear more?
Yeah, go ahead, man. I interrupted you. Your performance there.
Oh, okay. I wish we had set that up a little different so I can put everything in it. But
That's okay, man. That's okay, man. Just do what you can.
I took kind of a little etchy right now. You gotta sink into it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, maybe you should have do something a little slower so you could take your time and feel it out, you know?
Oh, what? I did a calypso, a soca, but actually, okay, let's go.
Yeah,
That's
man.
good.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's really nice, boy. Let me tell you, I want to hear something on the bass too in a little while, but we'll continue talking a little bit. We know you have a lot up your sleeve when it comes to them 10 fingers you have there because, boy, let me tell you, I've been amazed by a lot of things you've been posting from since what 2011 coming up to the present. Um, we mentioned that Peter is a comedian, and I just want to just run through one or two of his jokes that he's always posting that I think he should write jokes for individuals who aspire to be comedians. So one of them is he said, and this is from I think 2011. I did my real research on you know. He says my brother is now with the FBI. Yep, they picked him up in Chicago yesterday. 429 days before Christmas next year. My mom just called me to wish me happy Thanksgiving, son, and stop giving Thanksgiving jokes. I answered, okay, ma, I will try to stop cold turkey. Let me give them one more. I have a couple of them. Funny enough, my wife went to the gynecologist yesterday, and the doctor asked her, so my dear, do you know what your asshole do during sex? She answered, sure, he is at home taking care of the kids. Well, let me tell you, you're a special individual, you know, boy. You just
But you don't know who was the first carpenter, eh?
who was the first carpenter?
Eve.
Eve.
Yeah.
Okay, from the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, don't forget they were naked. And that's the first time she saw wood. You shouldn't say that. You shouldn't say that over the air, you know.
No, but hey, let me tell you, Invader have a song called Wood. So what the hell?
That's
You understand?
true.
Wood everywhere. You understand? Everybody putting plywood and kind of this in this song. So, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Boy,
Yeah.
let me tell you, Peter. So let's go on let's move away from the musical side a little bit. We'll come back in the fold, but I want to know with your electrician side. I mean, you have pictures on Facebook. I wish I had the technology where I would show people the pictures. But hopefully in the future, if we get maybe sponsorship, we could get the technology for that, okay? Because you have to pay for it. But you have pictures where you're climbing the towers in the middle of the winter. You're up on these poles, Gassa. You're doing this fantastic electrical work by yourself. No workers around you. It's just you in the middle of somewhere in the world on top of a tower fixing a bulb. Tell me about how you got into that side of electricity, being that your dad was an electrician.
Okay. That part is really communications, telecommunications.
Mm.
First of all, when I got the job offer, I'm very much afraid of planes. I don't like planes. I don't like flying. You know, and that was a job that, and that's a whole story by itself. I've been through a lot of rough lives, but that will come somewhere down the line. I never liked plane. I was always afraid of heights, especially in a plane. If I don't know, I'm not the one. I'm not the pilot. Maybe if I was a pilot, I wouldn't be afraid of heights. But if you're gonna take me somewhere and I don't know where I'm going, no, I don't want to be up there. And my mom would tell me, "Why are you afraid of flying? You think you can die before your time?" And I said, "Mm, well, no, but what if it's the pilot time? I gotta go with him." You know, that's how I look at it. But into so when they tell me the job is in San Francisco and we want to book a flight for you to fly over, I said, "Oh no." And the job was paying a lot of money at that time. I said, "No, I'll take the Greyhound bus." It took me 6 days. I did that 3 times. Even Jaunty brother, Jappy, David, he never liked flying either. Now he's flying often, but he didn't like flying. As a matter of fact, the guys in the solutions in California, he used to go on the bus from New York to California all the time. So they give him a name. They used to call him Columbus by bus.
Okay. Uh-huh.
If you're watching this, you laugh at it too. But then I took the bus, and then they tell me, "Well, we're going to send you for training." So after taking that 6 day trip to San Francisco, I had to fly from there to Chicago, Telcordia Technical College, to do a crash course on data systems. That's
Mm.
before I started even working now, working climbing towers. And then I did a lot of work, doing the radios and thing in the cell sites and things like that. And then they tell me, "If you're interested in climbing," I said yes. So they fly me to Arizona now to climb test towers.
Mm.
And it started out from there. Now the experiences on the tower is frightening, but you gotta have courage, you gotta have potential, you gotta have guts, you gotta have strength, because you're gonna climb these towers.
Right.
And don't mind that you see these towers look short when you're on the ground. When they're up there, they're very tall. I mean, if you stand up on your roof and you look down, it's look high. So
Shit, man. I be watching you on them things and I'm like, how the hell he does this thing? Like, you have no workers around you and you're there by yourself. And I mean, there's probably somebody taking a picture that
no,
there for
yeah,
you.
there is workers, but these workers more into the little. If you look at the towers, you see a little concrete house. Most of them in there connecting to what I'm doing up there.
I see.
You
Okay.
know, and I've been through 46 states in the U.S. from Alaska to, I mean, all over. This is why nowhere fascinates me anymore. I've been all these places I've lived. It wasn't easy. It may look good, and the
Mm.
money is good, but you're going to work. And I've been through 3 earthquakes in California. Well, not earthquakes, but tremors. I was in Louisiana for Katrina. That was a few months before Katrina started. Um, Tornadoes in Kansas, Wichita, Kansas, um, where we had to go into bunkers. In Katrina, we had to be airlifted out because there was just too much water
Wow.
all over the place. Yeah, we had to be airlifted and bring back into Baton Rouge. Um, I've been up in the mountains in Colorado, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Montana, and you're talking cold. This cold that they're having in New York is
It's nothing.
nothing compared to that. Nothing. I mean, cold where even in Juneau, Alaska, you could only stay outside for 25 minutes. You have to come back inside.
Okay.
And the hotel there, what's cold in New York is the hotel's temperature in there. But I'll tell you one thing, the salmon in Alaska,
Oh, I heard about it.
oh man, it's so good.
Mhm.
It's so
Yeah,
good. And it's cheap.
where you get
You
most
could
of the
get
salmon.
land, you could even get land, you could get land in Alaska, Anchorage, for like $1,500 and you could probably buy 2 acres with that.
What?
But who's gonna live there? It's snow
Wow.
24/7. Well, if the global warming, it might get expensive because all that ice gonna melt.
Right.
But it was a good
Wow.
experience. I work with good guys. I had the opportunity of standing right next to Bill Gates when telecommunication came. I almost missed the second flight that hit the World Trade Center. I was supposed to be on the second plane. That's why I moved to Florida. I said, this is it. Because I never liked nothing enclosed. I never liked planes. I never liked trains. If I work in Brooklyn, I live in Brooklyn. If I work in Manhattan, I live in Manhattan. I work in the Bronx, I live in the Bronx. I'm not going to go through Bowling Green and all them kind of thing. I get very scared,
Mm.
just like flying. But my problem is that when I fly, I have to drink. And when I drink so much that I have to put a note on my chest in the plane telling the flight attendants do not wake me up because I don't want to wake up and knowing that I'm up in the air. So I used to drink so much that I developed 11 ulcers and a tumor. And
What?
I was in hospital and I went into a coma the same week, like
Whoa.
20 for 3 days. That's how far. So then I had to stop drinking. And then I said, this is it. I went down to 93 pounds. I had blood transfusion and all that stuff. And I don't want to go too much into my medical history because that's kind of private. But yeah, I've been through that stuff. Right. So you say sometimes money is not all.
Yeah.
Money is not all because I was making the money, but I was suffering at the same time. You know, when you go into the bathroom and you're vomiting and you're spitting blood, it's not an easy thing. And I had ulcers in New York, and the ulcers developed from in New York. And I had the ulcers for almost 11 years. And
Okay.
and if you ever experience having stomach ache for 1 year from the beginning to the end constantly, and anytime you see October, November, December, it gets worse.
Okay.
And that's how I mean I've been on everything for us, the
So
Stagamen, Zantac,
basically,
Nexium, name it. Huh?
you're not doing those jobs anymore.
No. I'm 65. I'm retiring next year. I'm still have, all my benefits and things from them for 1K and all that. So um I I couldn't be doing that no more. Actually, after you reach 50, 55, AT&T wouldn't let you climb.
Oh.
Because you have to understand when you reach a certain height on the tower, your mind flips. Because now you're on the tower, so many hundreds of feet up in the air, you feel the tower is straight. You feel the tower is moving because they do move. The towers do move, but then after a while, going up a certain height, it stays the same plane. When you look down, you see the earth doing this. Now it's very confusing because if you try not to look at the earth to mess you up and you try to look up in the air, you get the same thing because you have the clouds moving.
Vertigo, yeah, boy.
And I had vertigo about, actually it came on me about 4 months ago.
Wow.
So at night, climbing the towers at night in the cold, the wind, when you look down, you have to radio the guys and tell them, listen, put your truck lights on so that I can see where you are because I don't know if you're here, up, down, nothing because it's so dark.
Right.
So you have to look down and then they hoist you down.
So then you actually physically climb up there with the harness and everything, right?
Sometimes some towers are like that. Some towers you have a pulley at the front of the truck with a cable.
Right.
So they connect it to the tower, and then they roll it. And as you roll it, you go up and up and up and up and up. But you come down on your own.
Okay, interesting.
I've seen guys drop from towers already, where the harness ripped and the hand, and that's it.
Well, let's not go there.
But they
That's
can't
some
touch
bullshit.
you. If you fall, we can't touch you. Nobody can touch you until the paramedics come. Once the drug test you, you clean, you're dead. Well, your family gets about 3 million. But if they find drugs, you don't get nothing. And the guy that fell, he was on some meth or whatever it was. So he lose out. Yeah, because you see, sometimes on the towers on the bus, you have to hook before you unhook. But the fielder was so good that it slipped. And the hand, every time the harness had to be tested, or you get a new one and whatever.
Wow.
I've been through a lot. I've been through.
Yeah, but luckily you came through it unscathed. I mean, like you said, it's just the drinking to prevent you from being scared of being on the plane and so on when you had to fly. But you reach the age now where you can say, boy, you live to tell the story. You know,
Yeah,
as you are
but that ain't gonna get me on no plane easy. And actually, when Morrison told me that I cannot get on the flight on Friday because of a storm, I put you on the Wednesday because of the storm. I put you on the Friday flight, and I went in the hospital and I tell my mom, listen, mom, I'm leaving to go back, and she tell me okay. And then when I left, when I got home Saturday morning, my sister called me and tell me, Mom, it's gone. Well, it didn't affect me that much because I spent so much time with my mother, and we actually, I didn't really go anywhere. It's only one time Corky came and checked me, and then we were going to check Cobham, and I said, no, something just tell me you need to go back to the house. And I said, Corky, no, let's not go Marigo and check Cobham, let's go back to the house. And when I went outside, I saw they're taking my mom to the hospital. And then when I got back to Miami, my sister called me and told me she passed. But let me tell you, it was the first flight that I've ever been on through all the snow, the cold, the wind. I've been through rough flights, even landing in Dallas where the storm was really rough. The pilots were low on fuel. They tell us just tie your belt as tight as you can, throw your drinks and food on the floor and put your head in the downward position. I've been through that, and it wasn't worse than when I was flying back from St Lucia to Miami. And then I knew right then that my mom was gone. And let me tell you, this is a little story. And I'll give you an example of what happened. Let me see if I can show you an example of what happened here.
No
Okay.
problem. Do your thing. I just want to tell the people that this is Unsung Influentials. This is something I've been doing for a while, and we are here with Peter Ellis, musician, electrician, comedian, the whole works, man. The man is just a Leclerian, a fellow Leclerian as I am, a half Leclerian, half everywhere. I mean, I've been everywhere. You know, I live in Florida, New York, so we are in the roots. We are in the root of the tree right now. Just retelling the story is a special day for him, and it's important that we get to do these things because when we pass away, these things are there for the grandkids and so on to listen to.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah. So this is an idea of the plane, right? So this is the storm. We tried to go up, it didn't work. We tried to go under, it didn't work. We tried to go with the storm, it didn't work. So finally, this is for 45 minutes of pure rough turbulence. The plane went like this. Everything at the top came down. People screaming. And then when we finally cleared the storm and we were getting ready to land in Miami, I'm saying, but why are we going south when we live in the Caribbean going north? Right. We're supposed to be coming towards Miami, not coming from New York, coming down. And then as soon as the plane land, I mean the plane, that was bricks, man. The plane skidded all the way, just stopped. Then the fire engines, all that came. We had to walk from there to the terminal. So when I was checking out, I asked the pilot, what happened? Why? He said I forget what they call it. This part of the plane, this part here that turns, could not turn the plane. So they had to turn and go all the way, probably all the way as far as Port St Lucie, come around by the Everglades and try to see if they can line up with the runway because the plane couldn't turn. So they had to do a wide. So I'm seeing the Bahamas and thing coming down, and then we're going back up to land in Miami.
Wow.
And that was it. That's the last time I went on a plane. I ain't going on no plane again. That's it.
Because I was about to say, with all the fright you have of well, not maybe not heights, but planes in particular, and that for that to happen, maybe you would have gotten a heart attack.
Well, that's another thing too. I have issues with that now as we speak, but I'm just hanging in there. As a matter of fact, I have some appointments to go on in January, but I'm okay. I'm fine. I guess try not to eat too much of the things that's not good for you. I try to cut down on the meat and things like that. I do eat very little fish, but I'm more like a vegetarian. When you reach 65, you know, and you know I'm married, so
Right.
don't know how long. Once I reach 69, I'll turn around.
Yeah, reminding the people here, Peter Ellis, he is a musician, electrician, comedian. What else are you that I did mention that I don't know about? Tell me now, or forever hold your peace. You know, you are talented, multi-talented. You have a lot of history about St Lucia, a lot of things that we could talk about that we have not even mentioned yet. We talk about your electrician life. We spoke about your dad, your mom, influence with musicians from back in your time, growing up in the 70s in Clery. Let's talk about Clery a little bit, man. What's your fond memories? Because, you know, I personally think Clery is the best community in St. Lucia, hands down. Okay? And not because I went to school there, not because my grandmother is from there, not because I'm from the area, knowing that I've been there all my life. But to me, if you just enter La Clery, you could get that sense of community because you have supermarkets in La Clery, you have tire shops in La Clery, and it's just one set of roads that's connected. You come in through La Clery from the roundabout, you reach by the field, it's connected to go up York Hill, it's connected to go up Active Hill, it's connected to go Active Hill, it's connected to go City Gate. All these roads are connected. Unlike when you go to the other communities, you have a lot of different things to do. I mean, Marsha is another community as well that I say is rich with history and culture. But in terms of La Clery, man, what's your fun?
La Clery had just about everything that we needed in our time. You had the church, the airport, the post office, the field, the club, the schools. I mean, we had it all. La Clery to me, and still is, home. La Clery is home. Not the home that we grew up in as Laclarians from times, but to me it's still and will always be home. You know, we had the community was well knit. Everybody knew everybody. Everybody loved each other. You couldn't do something wrong, and if you do something wrong, there is somebody that will tell you, "Don't let your mother see you. Don't let your father see you." Or Peter, you shouldn't do that. But the guys were the guys and the girls were the girls. And the La Clery girls were very much protected. You could not come from another, call it parish or in St. Lucia, or come from Master and say you're checking a La Clery girl, because once you reach the La Clery bridge, you're going to have to go through an immigration point. You know? So this was the stuff. So I knew a lot of guys that used to check a lot of La Clery girls. Some of them are married today, but even in the school days. But the place they would stop before they go any further is from the church. Now remember, we live right in front of the church. I was explaining that to you. You was explaining that to me. We could stay from our door and see inside the church.
Okay, right. That's what I forgot that.
Right, we were right in front of the church. So anywhere you go, we had that point where La Clery was La Clery. You wouldn't want to see the people were so together that you couldn't do anything wrong before that your parents already know at home. You know, either my head we would say, "Hey, I see Peter playing football. I see people," you know. So it was like that. And I remember one time my dad, again, like I said, he was kind of strict. When school over in Anglican school, we over at 3 o'clock, and
Mm-hmm.
my late brother was home before me, and I got home like about 4 or 5 o'clock because I stop. I probably pass through Lunch Road or all kind of thing, or stop and pick mango or eat tamarind or something like that. And my father would tell me, "Come here, you and Kurt leave school same time. You're supposed to come home together. How come Kurt reach home before you?" And I would answer something like stupid, like, "Well, you see, I take a shortcut."
Smartass.
you know. And my father didn't really beat that much, but when he beat, you better believe you're gonna get a beating. Yeah,
Yeah.
my mom was, you could slide, you just not slide with mom.
Yeah.
You'd more beg your mother not to tell dad.
Right. Right. It's
Mhm.
always the boys with the
Mhm.
moms and the girls with the dads.
Right.
That's what I always say. And being that you're a father, speaking of that, you have three girls, right?
3 girls, 10 grandchildren, one great grand.
Wow, I didn't know you had a great grand too. Okay, wow, that's amazing. What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
man, you have three
so
beautiful
far, two of
girls.
them are musically inclined.
Okay.
I have the girls that both of them play violin. I have my first grandson who I think is interested in doing the drumming. And
Mm-hmm.
I have my eldest granddaughter who wants to go into show business.
Okay. Okay. You
So
see?
I'm just setting a path for them. I try not to try to guide them and tell them, in life and the way the world is today, you don't want to follow a trail. You want to make your own path. This way, you will defeat all odds
Yeah.
because you made that path. People may use that path to get to you or go further,
Right.
but that path is yours.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, man, that's amazing because again, from the beginning, I mean, it's so amazing how God created life. I always look at it that way because we inherit from our parents. First of all, we look like one of them or both of them, and we inherit the same genes. We inherit the same, if it's health problems, whatever it is, and we emulate them. And
Mhm.
it's like when you have your kids, now they emulate the same thing and they start to be influential in that regard. Especially community, like you say, I mean, like Clery is known for footballers, and I'm sure you probably know so many. They always tell me the last names. I tell them, do you know Mr. This and Mr. That last name? And I say, I don't know that. But being that you know everybody last name, you could know who your whole family is just by asking somebody, hey, but what's what's your last name? Oh, that's your mother, that's your father. That's how it used to be back in the times. Togetherness.
That's
You
right.
know, we're missing that a lot in our life that we're living now. And I think even growing up, all that influence, it was just destined because everything was aligned the way it was supposed to be aligned.
What I
And we miss
what I would really like to see happen, and I know some of the Clerians and Clery musicians, they are not in the country right now, but if we can get like a complementary group together, like you get Foggy, you get Dighton, you get Kiki, then all those electricians, and the only person that is couple. Couple has gone home. But all the keyboards, all the guitars, the guitarists, and all these, they can form just like a celebration with
yeah.
just like the musician. You have pan, you have things like that, and we get together and we form a show like. But it's going to be spectacular. You get um, female singers, dancers that
Mm-hmm.
really come and say, okay, let's do this. I think that we can take care of that area ourselves.
That's true, because even at John's funeral, somebody mentioned that who was talking? I think it was the priest, or I think it was Ian Sanchez. I can't remember, but they were saying like they should do a fund, or they was gonna say name the Clery field after him, but I think Ian suggested that they should have a fund where musicians, I guess health reasons and whatever, if they need medical expenses paid and so on like that, I think there was another suggestion about having like the performing arts for the youngsters. Stevenson King, I think, was saying that for the youngsters who are coming up and basically nourish the talent in some way where it could be continuous. So when they have their kids and they know you from Clery, I mean, come on, you could just keep that in the family, in the community. And that's so important. That's lost today.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
I think that the, putting Jonty, the Laclery, naming the Laclery field after Jonty is a good idea, but there's two things about that, and don't get me wrong. Number one is that Jonty, being a footballer, is more best known for his singing abilities and his lyrics. And then
Mm.
Laclery again came out with a lot of footballers, good footballers too. So
Uh-huh.
what I think that they should do, or this is just my idea, do statues. Do a statue of John T right by Super Center.
Yeah, that's so true.
You know, like how they have uh I forget his name, statue in Barbados though. I built a statue of John T right in the
Aristobulus.
roundabout by Super Center. Where it's not gonna obstruct traffic.
Mm.
Then whatever else they want to do, they can put one in that little roundabout by the highway. Anything that entering La Clery, put
Yeah,
a
that's so
statue.
true. Yeah,
You
a
know?
good place to put that too is like you say, when you come in inside Clery, there's a little thing there where you could either turn to go, like you go into the roundabout, or you could come inside that little space there. They could put a statue right there.
Right there. Another if they have somebody else, that road when you leave by CN coming down by Raymond there, going where you can split up to go up to the hill by my home or go
Right.
down Vilgote,
Yeah.
that little path there, put a statue there. Now
Yep.
it could be anybody, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you know, people that influence a lot of Laclarians.
Right, 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 right,
But
right.
we have lost a lot of Laclarians too, and the new generation today, it's not our style, like they say, the young people now doing their own thing, so you know.
That's so true. That is so true, man. I
Yeah.
remember guys like Seaton. I mean, when my grandmother had her hideaway, guys like Seaton Kendall used to come
Oh
around.
yeah, I used to hang out
Smokes,
there a lot.
Smokes, guys. There's so many others. I'm forgetting the names right now. I seen the faces, but the names not coming to mind. But there's a lot of them that guys say you're mad. Let me tell you something. I was even in the community, and we're gonna continue the interview. But I was in the community yesterday because I was doing something, and I mean, just walking out from my grandmother's place, just being in the community, just looking around, seeing tortoise, seeing ranking, and looking at by the calle there, understand? It was like boss that I used to be around, and just went by cow there by the church. I mean, just being in the community, it was just, I mean, I felt enriched because I felt like I was being moist, like as if I had dry skin and I put cream on my skin and I felt nurtured again, because it's just that feeling of being in the community is so rich, and that feeling is there, man. And I just wish for, especially at night, we need more lights in the community, guys, especially where I'm talking about there. They need more lights, and I think more should be done. But not to take the interview away from you, it's just we're talking about the community,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
I don't know if you could give us something on the base at this point in time. We're getting ready to close just in a moment, but we're just touching on different things, to make sure we didn't leave anything out. But if you could give us a little something on the bass, because you're a talented bass player as well, you know. And I have to
Yeah.
compliment you because you look better than ever, man. Despite your health concerns, I mean, you grow the beard and thing, and you know.
Well, this is what I do. Actually I have no friends in Florida. Like I said, I go to work, I come home, I play my bass, I put 4 hours on the bass every day, I put 5 hours on the keyboards every day. So I go to bed like 10 o'clock. I leave work at 3. So once I come here, I get something, eat, fresh up, relax, mingle with the wife a little bit, then I start with my music right through until, and there's so much. I got so much stuff to do before I even really decide that okay, I'm good to come out there.
Right, right. So why
So
is your wife? I know her. She taught my mom in school. I mean, when I met them by Francis some years ago, and you described to her who I am and who my family is, and um, she said, Manuel, and is your mother, is your aunt and your mom, the twins?
yeah.
She said, yeah. She said, I taught them in school, at Clery school. They were troublesome.
Well, I remember I was in class with your mom and thing like that in them times too. And I don't know if you remember a game they used to call footsie. It's a
See,
thing that there's a thing that you put around your handle with a cord with a bell at the end and you spin it around your foot. So
okay.
during class we used to do that. Mandy and Andy, that's how I remember them.
Yeah, man, that's why my aunts, man, they were trouble. They still troublesome today, up to this day. People tell me they were troublesome, but they still troublesome up today. I thought I was troublesome, but my mother more troublesome than me when I
Oh,
talk to her.
I was troublesome. I was very troublesome. That you couldn't tell me. Better you tell me do it, and I wouldn't do it. If you tell me don't do it, I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
So PT setting up the base. Let me tell one or two jokes, and bigger people who still on, who
Yeah.
still listening.
Let me set up the base still. I have so much things all over the place, as you can see. I
Yeah,
have
the other thing, take your time, and we gonna close soon, but we just touching on little things, miscellaneous stuff that we spoke about the important things already. It's family life, growing up, musicianship, electrician. Now we're on the
yeah.
comedy. So Peter says, this was I think from a couple years ago, and this is another milestone in your life, right? Day 4, not one cigarette, doing great so far. Not that I wanted to quit, but it says smoking cigarettes is dangerous to my wealth. Here's another one from 2014. This fool asked me in Tennessee, hey Pete, what the death rate in Miami? What is the death rate in Miami? I said the same as everywhere else. One per person.
This,
Then there's another one. He said, see the difference between OJ and Colonel Sanders is that at least Sanders slice up the chicken before he batters it. Get it straight. I am an OJ fan. It's just jokes, just saying. Let me give them one more. Some of them you have to think, to understand the joke, right?
oh yeah.
Wife, honey, why are you installing mirrors all over the house? Response, babes, I am a sick man. I have to obey my doctor. He said I have to watch my drinking. You mean say that one again? Wife, honey, why are you installing mirrors all over the house? Husband responds, babes, I am a sick man. I have to obey my doctor. He said I have to watch my drinking.
I put some glasses, some ice, a bottle of rum, some whiskey, and I put it in my bathtub now. But my wife tell me as we get older, we must have a bath so that we can hold on to when we get old.
Boy, you. You're a clever fellow, I knew that, boy, you. Here's the next one. Good exercise for my birthday. I ran around my block 20 times. Then I picked it up and put it back in the garbage. Here's one of my favorite ones before you start on the base.
Yeah, I
Must
went to
be
the,
a Lucian.
I went. I'll give you some too. I went to the doctor. The doctor tell me, boy, you're so young. If you take this, it will add 10 years to your life. I said, yeah, I feel 10 years older already.
Look at the next one. Must be a Lucian, a Bajan, a Jamaican. And a Lucian sentence to him was asked what their last meal would be. The Bajan said, I want some black pudding and sauce. The Jamaican said, give me some roast pork. And the Lucian said, I want mangoes. The judge, mangoes are out of season, sir. Lucian say, no problem, I'll wait. Boy. All right, let's go with it, man.
No. Wait, I have to. This thing, this basically just give me some problems there. So let me just organize it before we go because I gotta go out in a little while myself.
All right. So here's another joke. 10,000 to send my wife all. Sorry, let me start again. $10,000 to send my wife all the way to Italy to remove a green spot on the inner side of her thigh, which she had for years, only to find out that my right earring was brass. Hey, my Peter. My friend shouted at me from the other side of the lake. Yo, Pete, how do I get on the other side? I shouted back, you are on the other side. Boy, I tell you, you need to sell these jokes, eh? You need to sell these jokes, man. You really do need to sell these jokes.
Too many.
Yeah, he has so many jokes. He has over 1,000 jokes. Here's another one. Until you're ready, you let me know. Today, I spoke to the most beautiful person in the world. So understanding, so pure, natural, and special. I love her so much. My mom. That's not a joke, but that was that was an anecdote, eh? I had another one here, but let me see. Maybe you could finish this one because I don't think I got the full joke there, right? He said this girl had diarrhea and said, "Mommy, can I have a Viagra?" Mommy said, "What? What do you need for that? Or what do you need that for, rather?" Little girl, well, Mommy, I heard when you said, what was the rest? I can't remember.
Oh, the joke was she asked her mom. She said she cannot. I can't remember it, but I cannot go to the bathroom. Um, she said, why? She said, she asked her dad, why don't you give me one of the pills that you give daddy?
Oh, okay. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah,
You,
yeah. Why don't you give it to daddy to make it shit hard or something
right,
like that?
yes, I think so. Oh, boy. Boy, whenever you're ready for me, I'm ready for you.
How much time you have left?
We good, man. It's 12 o'clock now, so something is going to set up. An alarm is going to set up on my phone for 12. Hopefully,
Oh.
grab the light. So if it does, I'll just stop it there, nothing. So if the screen freezes, then you know that's the alarm. I'm gonna turn it off. It should come back right away. Unless I should minimize and turn it off first. Just now, give me a second there. Let me try that.
Yeah.
All right, we should be back.
Yeah. Boy, let me see if I can get this going. I don't know why. You see, there's so much load I have on here that. Yeah, man. So, ooh, you know, when you try to do things the right way, it's always something to mess things up. Yeah. But anyway, you there? You there? You? You there? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. You can hear me? I, I can't hear you. Your mic off. I'm trying to get this thing to work.